Since I have born into this world, why should I lose my peace of mind? Whether people say nice things about me or insult me, it's just part of being alive. I should stay calm and steady through it all. This is the words of Akka Mahadevi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Akka Mahadevi's words have traveled through 900 years to reach us today. I'm so keen to know how many of you have heard her story or felt the power of her vachanas. Drop a yes or share your favorite line of hers in the comment box, please. So let us fill the space with her wisdom. The flame of devotion. In the 12th century, amidst the spiritual revolution of Karnataka, a voice emerged that would echo through eternity. It was not the voice of a king or a scholar, but of a young woman named Mahadevi, later known to be the world as Akka Mahadevi. While society sought to bind her with the golden chains of royalty and tradition, her soul sought only the jasmine tender Lord Chennamallikarjuna. Today we journey through the life of this divine soul, a woman who proved that true peace of mind is found not in the palace, but in the unwavering stillness of one's own heart. So let us explore the story of a rebel, a poet, and a saint who chose the sky as her roof and God as her only companion. Prabham Prananatham Vibhum Vishwanatham Jagannathanathan Sadananda Bhajam Bhavad Bhuta Bhutishwaram Bhutanadam Shivam Shankaram Shambhumishanamide Galerundamalam Tanau Sarpajalam Mahakala Ganeshadhipalam जडाजूडभङ्गोत्तरङ्गैर्विशालं शिवं शङ्करं शम्भुमीशानमीढे. The dawn of a divine soul. In the 12th century, a girl named Mahadevi was born in a small village in Karnataka, India. Her parents were Nirmal Shetty and Sumati. She grew up to be a famous poet and a brave soul who changed the world with her words. Mahadevi grew up in a home filled with prayers and music. Her parents were deep followers of Lord Shiva, and their daily rituals inspired her from a very young age. While other children played with toys, Mahadevi fell in love with Chenna Mallikarjuna, Lord Shiva. To her, he was not just a god, he was her soulmate. Chenna means beautiful. Mallikarjuna, Shiva, honored with jasmine flowers. So the sum is Shiva as beautiful as jasmine flower. Akka Mahadevi was a bright star of the 12th century. She was not just a poet, she was a rebel who broke all the old rules of society to follow her heart. Even though she was one of the youngest saints, her words were incredibly powerful because she lived a brave and difficult life. Characteristics of Akka Mahadevi. She is revered as the first female poet in Kannada literature. She was a revolutionary who raised her voice against the barriers of caste, religion, and gender discrimination. Forsaking all worldly clothes and ornaments, she wandered in search of Lord Mahadeva, covering her body only with her long hair. The timeless vachanas of Akka Mahadevi. She said, if you choose to build your house on top of a mountain, you should not be afraid of the wild animals. The second vachana is, if you build your home right in the middle of the busy market. You should not be bothered by the shouting and the noise. So, just as the sun is the seed of the world's movement, the mind is the seed of the senses movement. She composed approximately 430 vachanas for Akka, who considered the devotion to God a far greater ornament than any worldly jewelry. Her verses remain a treasure trove of lived experiences and divine wisdom. Just as the idol of Krishna gifted by a monk became the world to Mirabai, the Shivalingam in her home was everything to Akka Mahadevi. While other children played with dolls and other toys, these two souls spent their childhoods conversing with divine friends and offering them food. So, this childhood play eventually blossomed into the greatest bhakti movements the world has ever witnessed. Mahadevi was not like other girls of her time. She was incredibly smart and learned things very fast. She studied holy books and became a talented musician. Even her teachers were surprised by how she connected her lessons to real life. As she grew up, many men wanted to marry her because she was so beautiful and wise. But Mahadevi was not interested. When her parents worriedly asked her about marriage, she just smiled and told them, I have already married the great Lord Shiva. I cannot even imagine having another husband. Mahadevi's parents were shocked and worried. They thought her love for God was just as his face, and even the neighbors began to whisper that she was going mad. So, when her parents tried to convince her to live a normal life and get married, Mahadevi asked them a powerful question. The sky is my roof, the wind is my clothes, and God is my partner. Why do I need a palace now? As she grew into a young woman, the local ruler, King Kaushika, saw her during a festival. He was so struck by her beauty that he immediately demanded to marry her. But Mahadevi was not impressed by his power or his wealth. Her answer to the king was fearless. O king, all men die. A man who is here today will be gone tomorrow. Why should I marry someone who is mortal? My heart already belongs to Shiva. He is my only eternal lover. Mahadevi's parents were terrified. In those days, saying no to a king could mean prison or even death for the whole family. To save her mother and father from the king's anger, Mahadevi made a brave and heartbreaking choice. She agreed to the marriage. Even in the face of a king's shadow, Mahadevi's light did not dim. She was a revolutionary, a soul too vast to be captured by a crown. To protect her parents, she stepped towards the palace, but she did not step away from her truth. With the grace of a queen and the heart of a saint, she looked at the powerful King Kaushika in his eyes and told, she commanded, she laid down three sacred conditions for the conditions for a powerful king who was used to absolute control. Akka Mahadevi's conditions were almost impossible to swallow. He could not understand how a young woman, someone who was officially under his rule, could speak to him with such fearless authority. But King Kaushalya was so blinded by his obsession with her beauty that he did not care about the consequences. He brushed aside his pride and agreed to her three unyielding conditions, never realizing that they were the very keys to her eventual freedom. The conditions were this. The king could never come between her and her devotion to Chenna Mallikarjuna. Condition 2, he could never stop her from spending time with the other devotees. Condition 3, he could never stop her from going to temples or other sacred places. If the king broke these rules, the marriage would be over and she would walk away forever. This was the condition. Though the marriage was solemnized, Mahadevi's heart never resided within the palace walls. She remained detached from all material comforts. As the days turned into weeks, the king began to break his promises. He could not understand Mahadevi's holy heart. He was trapped by his own greed and wanted her all to himself. He tried to use his power like a golden cage, locking her inside the palace. He wanted her to forget her prayers and focus only on expensive jewels and royal life. He thought his crown was more important than her soul. When the king tried to force her to obey, Mahadevi made a choice that shook the world. She decided to leave everything behind, every diamond, every silk robe, and every royal comforts. She bravely declared, if these clothes and jewels belong to the king, let him have them. She cast them aside, choosing to cover her only with her long flowing hair. With nothing but her faith, she walked out of the palace gates and into the world, into the wild, free at last. Akka Mahadevi's journey did not end at the palace gates. It began there by casting aside her silks and her status. She showed us that the greatest ornament one can wear is a heart filled with devotion. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.